Welcome to Newsbeast. We've got Eddy Moretti from Vice in the house and Eli Lake down
How are
from
you?
DC. Romney's Magical Mystery Tour. He is in England today meeting with the Prime Minister. Part of a tour that's going to take him to Poland and Israel, but got off kind of an odd foot, right? Because here's something you probably don't want your advisor to say. We're part of an Anglo-Saxon heritage, and he feels that relationship is special. The White House doesn't fully appreciate the shared history that we have. Well, that's like dog whistle strangeness right there, Eddy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, first of all, I imagine Romney getting to England on a boat, you know, with his family, and you know, and he probably has that luggage that's sort of like big and boxy, and where you can kind of
old school trunk,
yeah,
steamer trunk.
Yeah. No, look, it's an incredibly insulting statement. I think if you like kind of draw it out, it sounds, you know, semi-innocent, but if you like follow the implications. What's he saying? I look at me, or we, because it's not him, it's an advisor. It's like, look at us, we get each other. They didn't get you, or they don't get you.
It's the president as other.
Yeah.
Right, which we've certainly seen too goddamn much.
Yeah.
Eli.
It's an anonymous remark. If someone had said that on the record and publicly, it would be a huge gaffe, I think. But I don't get the impression. I mean, like, his top policy guy is Lan He-chen, and Alex Wong is his top foreign policy guy. And I just don't get the impression, having covered the Romney foreign policy and campaign team, that there is a sense that, you know, we're proud Saxons, so to speak.
No, I think that's a very fair and important point. But let's talk about.
And besides, I just want to point this out. He's Mormon, which a lot of, you know, real, like, kind of racial purity enthusiasts would find problematic from a kind of Christian purity perspective. So it just doesn't make any sense.
Well, look,
that's religion, not race.
Fine, but like, if you're going to go down that road, you know, the two things often go hand in hand. You know, I'm just saying, look at the history of the 20th century.
Anyway. Just say it. Something small like that.
And I'm just, you know.
Let's talk Romney policy, though. You've done a lot of work. He gives a big speech at the VFW, supposedly the big foreign policy speech.
Yeah.
Were you impressed as a national security reporter by the Romney doctrine?
I have been covering Romney's foreign policy for so long now that I saw it mainly as strengthening and reiterating themes that he laid out in his book called No Apologies, which is like no apologies for how awesome America is, and basically why America should be an exceptional nation.
Right.
And the
the
implication is that Obama is preparing America to be a kind of unexceptional nation, and this gets into, like, you know, the applicability of international law and things like that.
But were there a lot of apologies? Did I miss this? Like, were there like just a string of him, like,
only
you know,
in terms of emotional narrative?
He
not
just
fact
wasn't
so much.
He just wasn't as arrogant as the previous president, and so they interpret that as.
Therefore, he doesn't.
There's a famous quote from Obama's first tour as president of Europe, when he's asked, "Is America an exceptional nation?" And he says, Americans think they're exceptional in the same way that Greeks think they're exceptional, and British, and like everybody thinks they're exceptional.
That's like the exhibit A in this argument. But like, also, you could say, like, Obama's one of the better advertisements for American exceptionalism.
But that's just smart, right? That's just a smart interpretation of exceptionalism.
I'm not endorsing or critiquing here. I'm saying that the tone of the original tour, to go back to an earlier off-screen, the theme song might be Hard to Say I'm Sorry by. Because it was tagged at the time as a way to re-engage with the world after a unilateral president. So it wasn't like he ever said "I'm sorry," but he tried to say, "Listen, there's a new approach here, and we're gonna." But ironically, and this is the great irony of all of it, is that Obama may be even more of a unilateral, stealth, secret, Cheney-esque executive outcomes, assassination teams, drone targeting president than Bush. The irony of course, is that.
Why can't he get any points for how hardcore he is on, you know, national
because
security?
he acts like you know, he's like, President, get along.
Well, look,
but this shit happens. You can't ignore that people die and drone attacks happen and even little children die.
But it's one of the reasons why, frankly, I mean, look, he's been more effective at dismantling Al-Qaeda, certainly than expectations and arguably than President Bush. And it's one reason why foreign policy is actually a real strength, unexpectedly, for this president.
But he doesn't get points for it. He gets in trouble for leaks because now leaks have become like the big.
You know who also got in trouble for leaks? Scooter Libby.
Yes,
Yeah.
he did.
He also got in trouble for leaks.
But he got pardoned, so that.
No, well,
Yeah. Anyway.
But, like, so here's what's fascinating to me. He gives a big speech, Romney, and it's hard contrast with the president, right? The implication, the president is doesn't believe in an American century, says Romney. But then he sort of sneaks in there, and I support the withdrawal date from Afghanistan in 2014, just like the president. Like, what? What? Whoa, what's going on here?
The other part of this is, like, he's not an alpha male, Obama. He doesn't portray himself as an alpha male on foreign policy, but is Romney really, like, the alpha male that you want in the White House? He doesn't, you know.
He's very patriarchal. I don't know. He's got that sense of, he doesn't like being questioned.
I don't buy him as an alpha male on foreign policy.
You know, I think he's competent in all the areas of policy in a way that if you looked at the Republican primaries, we couldn't say the same of Herman Cain.
Yeah. Well, that's a clone show.
But that's like the bar
whatever.
So
you know, you can say whatever you want. I'm saying though that what I'm saying is that
really low there,
he spends time studying it, and he's he's absorbed the information. He's fluent.
So I have a question then. You know, his comments on our biggest potential foreign enemy is Russia. I think that was like
it wasn't. He didn't say. He said geopolitical foe.
Okay.
But I know what you mean. I don't want to mince words, but you're right. You're right.
I mean,
you're right. I don't want to.
So, but was that smart? Was that informed, educated? Are they really? Should he said that?
This was
and arguably, didn't he in that comment kind of complicate Russia, Syria, UN kind of?
That's a great point.
That's a great point. Thank you.
Well, I don't know if he complimented. First of all,
seriously,
I don't know.
I wouldn't on the show, and that was my first great point.
Let me say this. I think that was a critique of what the Obama administration calls its reset with Russia. And conservatives, that just boils their blood because the notion that America needs to reset its relationship with Russia when Russia was basically a rogue actor in 2007 and 2008.
Hold on. I mean, wasn't it President Bush who looked in Vladimir Putin's eyes and saw his soul? So what the hell are we talking about?
Yeah. Well, it's true, but I'm saying like that Vladimir Putin has proved to be an autocrat.
Yes, he has.
And he has proved to be, at times, he wants to be, he's basically at times acts like a rogue state, but wants to be treated like a great power. And doesn't act responsibly. So that look in Putin's eyes has substantively been doubled down in some ways by Obama. And they've gotten some results out of it. Russia's not as much of a spoiler in Iran as they were before. There is
North Korea, there could be some movement there, maybe.
Well, that's really more of a China thing. But you're right. I mean, there's potentially more thing. But like Russia.
But on Syria, though, it's not working out, right?
No, that's a big.
I can't. You're catching me at a bad time because I'm about to write on this, and there's a lot of stuff that readers are going to learn about tomorrow.
Well, that's a really good.
On that very issue.
Nice tease.
Nice tease.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
my first tease.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, Eddie. Final word.
Werewolf.
There you go. Why the hell not?
You said it.
Secrets.
Secrets. All right. Vice. That's all for us from Newsbeast.
Vice.
All right.
See you tomorrow.